Hey guys, it's Gaz. Welcome to the Warframe video. Today we'll be talking about the Rattleguts Kitgun, my favorite kitgun so far. So what does the Rattleguts do? Well, compared to the other kitguns, it's more of a rapid fire based kind of situation. So this is how it's firing with the current build that we have. This is basically just lethal torrent on here as far as fire rate's concerned, and we have about 67 rounds in the magazine, which is really nice. I'll show the parts that we have. We have the Rattleguts with the splat loader and the love tap grip. I tried quite a few combinations on this thing. I tried the haymaker, I tried the gibber. It was either way too slow a fire rate, or in the case of the gibber, it was insanely way too fast. Like, we were going through an entire magazine like instantly, and the bullets weren't hitting very hard. So I found a good middle ground here. This one also has the most powerful projected DPS on paper, so I would say this is probably the best combination you're going to find as far as the Rattleguts is concerned. So we do about like 50-ish damage per shot without mods on it. We have innate radiation, puncture, slash, and impact. So comparing to this to another weapon, say like the Stiletto Prime, which a lot of people say that this is comparable to, this is the difference in the stats. So we got like over double the crit chance, we got higher crit multiplier, slightly lower fire rate, but that really is made up for with these higher base damage numbers, and everything is better besides the status, basically. I mean, the reload's a little bit slower, but we have a much larger magazine, so we won't be reloading as often with this gun. So honestly, I like it a lot better. It's more pushed into crit. Another weapon you could compare this to is the Prisma Twin Gremlins, which is actually pretty hard to compete with, but we do have higher crit. We have a better crit multiplier. We have lower base damage. Actually, we have higher base damage, sorry. And yeah, like, this is another really, really good rapid fire secondary weapon that we are comparing this to. So I looked at those two weapons when I was building this, and I really think that this one comes out on top. So here's the build that we're going to use, the no riven setup. We're using basically our prime crit mods, and then we're using a couple dual stats. And this last slot right here, you can actually be pretty flexible with this, depending on the levels of enemies you're fighting. I've found that putting pathogen rounds in this last slot against really high level enemies with armor is the way to go. But if you're fighting lower level enemies, you can actually throw in some punch through on there and kill multiple enemies with one bullet, which I've also found very nice. Some other alternatives, you could put Augur Pact on here just for more damage all around, although I haven't found that as useful, but maybe you'll like it. I just liked having the pathogens rounds on here to increase the likelihood of the corrosive procs against high-level enemies. So, yeah. I did say this is hit scan. I'm going to show some examples of how you can actually tell. Alright, so, well, first off, let's show this no riven build against these level 50s. So, 3 bullets to kill that guy. Pretty nice. With body shots, it takes that many. And yeah, when it crits, it can hit like, you can do a 2 headshot kill. Very nice. Honestly, a very reliable weapon if you ask me. So let's do this hit scan test. So this is about 6 meters away. Did like 1,000 damage per bullet. I'm gonna go way out here and get a body shot from over here. So it's about 70 meters away now. And we're getting the exact same amount of damage. So this is the reason I really like this gun, is it's effective at longer ranges. You probably wouldn't be shooting these enemies from this far away anyway, but the fact that you can do that is very nice. So yeah, getting headshots at that distance is not super easy, but it is something you could also do. So yeah, I really think this is nice. We're going to bump them up to level 100 now, and you'll see that it's also totally acceptable at level 100. We'll also bump it up to level 160, because even without a riven, you can handle level 160s with this thing, which is another reason I really like it. This is definitely my favorite kit gun so far. That took 13 bullets. Pretty darn nice. Body shots, it's going to take quite a bit more. But still, honestly, respectable damage with all body shots. Can you complain with that? I don't think I can complain with that. See, like, we have those 60-60 mods on there to increase our status chance. When we're firing this many bullets, it's gonna proc status quite often. Yeah, this thing is awesome. The love tap grip giving us pretty high damage numbers and decent fire rate with this thing it's a recipe for success for sure. Alright, level 160 test. You would think it would be pretty bad at this level, but you'll see. Took like a little bit over half our magazine to kill that level 160 gunner. And of course, if you're ever fighting these enemies, you would most likely have a setup going with your team where you're running corrosive projections, or maybe you would be running corrosive projection yourself. So you'd be killing them much faster than this. I'm actually using enemy radar right now, and no buffs whatsoever. So honestly guys, this thing is super underrated. People are all on the catch moon right now, for good reason, because it's like a nice like lazy gun. You can just like fire at people, kill an entire row of enemies, no problem. But this thing, honestly, like, I think it's super underrated right now. The Tomb Finger is also really good. All the kit guns are amazing, but I'd say this is my favorite so far. This is not even with a riven right now, so I missed a ton of shots there. But it didn't really matter because we were still able to kill her with that magazine. Alright, so I'm going to swap a riven on here with the same kind of build. So we're actually getting a pretty good riven on this one. We have magazine capacity, which is not the best stat, critical chance, critical damage, negative projectile flight speed. So with this hit scan weapon, that negative projectile flight speed, not a big deal. We have a similar build to the other one, and we'll put Pack Seeker on here. Alright, let's give it a shot against those level 160s. Since we're not running pathogen rounds, we have lower corrosive damage per shot, so it's a little bit less likely that we'll proc it. But we still will proc it quite often. I want to say that the no riven build was better there. We have a 140% crit chance with this riven, so getting orange crits 40% of the time, and every single bullet will crit. Not too bad. Alright, so that was pretty good. I think we should take it into a mission and see how it does against an actual scenario with enemies. So we're going to do a Kuva Flood and see how it goes. Because the sortie today is not really that great for like combat situations. It's like a spy and like a rescue and stuff. I'm also working on the Pax Soar Arcane. I want to see how that goes, because I really like moving fast, and I feel like that could be like something that I would really enjoy. That arcane lets you move faster with like bullet jumps and stuff. Oh no, is it on Mars again? Okay, it's not on Mars, good. It is an exterminate against the corpus. Alright, let's switch to a gas build then. Because you can use corrosive against the corpus, but it's definitely not ideal. Okay, so we got same situation, riven mod setup with gas. I always click on that on accident. Alright, cool. Let's give this a shot. I'd like to thank you guys again for all the support you've been showing me on YouTube. Been getting a lot of subs as far as I'm concerned, and that's really cool. I'm happy that people are enjoying the content. I'm enjoying making the content. Okay, so what level are these guys? You guys level 88. You can also see the Pax Seeker arcane in action against these unarmored enemies after the nerf. Or bug fix, sorry. People were mad that I called it a nerf. It does like half the damage now, so what do you want me to call it? It actually does less than half the damage sometimes, which is kind of crazy. Just get complete overkill with Nova. And since we have magazine size in this riven mod, we have a 99 round magazine, so we're not going to be reloading this thing for a while. If you didn't want to use the splat loader, because I know a lot of people don't want to fish for those Synethid, like really rare fish, you could alternatively use the kill stream loader, which gives you a 45 round magazine at base and a slightly faster reload time. So that's your other option if you want these really high crit stats. I personally thought that having a larger magazine was much more beneficial to me, but that option also is there. I would say that the splat loader, the one I'm using right now, is better though overall. So we are doing pretty good here. This window's about to get broken. Whoa, they upgrade their windows? Okay, I'm okay with that. Those windows always break, and that's why I don't like Corpus missions as much.
Those are the Queen's braids.
Alright, so we can try this gas build on some Guardians, see how that goes.
Listen, the machines are coming to life. There's Kuva in the air. Disgusting flesh thing. Thoroughly unappetizing.
Alright, Guardians. Moment of truth. How's this build that should be terrible against armor do? Relatively okay.
Don't let them do that!
I'm using the Xeneric Voltaic Blast node for focus. So actually whenever I fight a Guardian in this game and they're high level like that, I don't want to really mess with them. So what I'll do is I'll use the Void Blast to disarm them, and then I'll also use it again to slow them down, because the way the Voltaic Blast focus node works is when you Void Blast an enemy, they are slowed by a ton for like a really long period of time. So it's really nice if you're soloing like a high level Kuva Flood like this, because they literally like will be so slow they're gonna have a hard time shooting you. So ideally you kill them before they're even able to try to shoot you. Because I definitely recommend building the Rattleguts. I'd recommend building all the kit guns. I'll have the video for the gaze out in a couple days. Possibly tomorrow. Because I have the guns ready, I just need to,
Use your operator form to
I have no excuse. I can just get that tomorrow. How about that? So we have two different gaze kit guns. We have a status-based one and a full crit version. And I'm going to show both of them just in case that you guys want to see the difference between those two kind of builds. I thought it was nice to have two of them. Using the amp against these Kuva clouds, honestly, it's so nice. The problem with the tier 2 prism against the Kuva clouds is it sometimes bugs it out. So I've always just used the tier 2 scaffold, and I haven't had it bug out once with the scaffold. So I'd highly recommend using that against the Kuva. It makes it a lot more reliable. You don't even need to know exactly where the Kuva is. You just hear what direction it's coming from, and you just fire in that direction. And it's really easy. See, like, look how reliable this thing is. It's just like, it's got a ton of magazine, you keep firing, it's got really good damage, really good crits, okay status chance, and yeah. It's just like a workhorse weapon. That's why I really enjoy this. I find it more useful in a lot of situations that like the catch mood wouldn't be as useful in. I'm honestly like debating on selling like my Twin Gremlins riven and my Axe Stiletto riven, just because this thing is just, I like it so much more than either of those. Oh, those guys are just like sleeping on the job. Can we go through this whole mission without breaking a window? Nope.
Let's override the security.
I had a feeling we were gonna break a window there. Alright, so we need to kill one more enemy.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
Alright, easy mode. So yeah, I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. I honestly could not recommend this anymore. It's a very reliable weapon that you can just shred hordes with. I honestly could have thrown Seeker on there for some punch through to like take care of multiple Corpus at the same time, because they're pretty weak without their armor, or because they don't have armor, period. So, thanks for checking out the video. Please like, favorite, subscribe, and have a great day. Peace.